Fire Emblem Three Houses came out 6 years ago, and I've sunk a lot of hours into this game. 640 hours to be exact. That's a lot of hours. But there's one save file of mine that I've never been able to beat, and it still haunts me to this day. Ever since beating my first playthrough, I've done New Game Plus on top of New Game Plus, which carries over everything I unlocked in playtime. I started a Blue Lions Maddening run, but I got cocky. I stopped optimizing, and I even skipped the last few in-game months jumping straight to the missions. I thought I could crush anything, but when I got to the last mission, Oath of a Dagger, I was humbled. I failed attempt after attempt after attempt until eventually, I abandoned the save. When the Blue Lions needed me most, I vanished. But now, a whole time skip later, I'm back, determined to beat Edelgard and finally finish what I started. And hey, if you enjoy the video, leave a like and comment telling me what your favorite house and route was.
You would be haunting me as well.
But before we can get into that, I have to see what I'm working with.
I'm covering my stats.
Both Byleth and Dimitri are relatively strong, but everyone else is...
Hilda, she's got good skills. Low level though, right? Very low level. Happy. She's got some good Fiendish Blow, Uncanny Blow. Yuri, a Mortal Savant. I made this guy into a freaking bow knight. He hates bows. You know, very standard. Nothing too crazy. Max Faith, which is great. Bernadetta's my dancer. I had to turn on my face cam for that one. It's not a bad choice. Bernadetta isn't a bad choice. I'm just kind of surprised that that's who I would pick back then. I gave him a crest, right? So he can use that. He's got Death Blow, he's got Armored Blow, he's got Pavis, but he's just underleveled. Underleveled for what I would need him to be at this point. Constance is Constance, right? Constance is Glass Cannon type. 8 defense, so, and like, I don't have Lawrence. I haven't used Lysithea? Oh!
I organize and change up any combat arts that I think might be useful for this. I got some basic weaponry, so I strolled down to the marketplace to see what else we can do.
How much money I got? I got no money. Ugh! I got no money? How is that possible?
So I sold my torches, my chest keys, old weapons, even people. Like some old battalions that had mercenaries and pirates.
All these youths. I hate the youth. I can't believe I had to stoop to this point. I'm disgusted with my past self. If I can't beat this level, none of this matters. Thank you for pledging your allegiance to the kingdom.
All that just so I can do some forging and maybe buy a support battalion or two. I ended up getting an impregnable wall that I put on Happy, a load of brave weapons I split amongst my army.
I have not used any of the Umbro Steel.
And fixing up all my heroes' relics.
What the hell? Heck, what? Yes.
So after that, here's a look at what I'm working with. Not too shabby once I reworked my army, but the biggest issue is going to be managing to keep it all together until we get to Edelgard.
I don't know.
Edelgard must be in the throne room.
Must be indeed.
I would love nothing more than to charge in and settle this once and for all. But we must be mindful of the surrounding forces.
There's a few different directions to flank from, but to get out of Edelgard's way and take control of Stronghold, we decide to move our army west. There are 2 Mortal Savants that are in the way near the first choke. After some deliberation, I decide to run away. Yep, run away. I decide to keep my army holed up in this tiny starting area because, 1, none of my units can safely fight the Savants and win, and 2, Edelgard can hit anyone from almost anywhere due to her long-range attack. Thankfully, Bow Knight Sylvain actually can comfortably shoot an enemy from up to 4. My goal isn't to hit them. Right now I just need to aggro them so they move towards us. Eddie throws out a few fireballs and they're kind of scary. No one gets one shot, but a crit would end any of my magic users like that.
We're in danger.
Right, she can do that crap twice. Wait a second. She can crit Constance at 20.
Mortal Savants move towards the bottom middle, but most of my units are worse than I thought. Not only does almost everybody get doubled by the mortal spawns, but they also get one-rounded, meaning I'll be using a lot of Tom and Jerry hit-and-run style tactics just across the map. Because of this, I spent a long time in my head thinking about the safest and most efficient ways to move, because I needed to save as many of my divine pulses and gambits as I could for Eddie. I chipped some damage with Sylvain and cleaned up the first savant with Hilda, then made a probable gamble on War Master to clean up the second.
The better to serve His Highness.
We still have some brave weapons, so Dimitri cleaned up the last mage in the back, and we can start to strategize on how to move into the West Wing.
All the more reason to train diligently.
After healing Constance and Happy, Bernie does her little dance, so that I can place Byleth right in the range of an enemy mage to aggro. But, right outside the range of the War Master, who can hit any of my units 4 times in a row and kill. Happy and Bernie both survive shots from Eddie. Protector.
Happy could get crit too, which is insane. Bernadetta. Yeah, she's got a good avoid though. I'm glad I gave her the mercenaries.
And Byleth wipes the floor with the enemy mage using the Sword of the Creator.
It's over.
Wish I got the crit first, but let's go.
This could turn the tides.
And Flame levels up too, I guess.
Enlighten
Feel my
one.
strength building.
Byleth moves up to block the second mage on the left, so they attack him. While I move other key players from my army into the West Wing, avoiding the War Master. However, I did something silly. Instead of keeping the Sword of Creator on, I switched Byleth to magic. Not really sure why in retrospect I did that. But that no damage crit hurts me a lot more than it hurt them. But to make matters worse, this aggroes the enemy War Master and Warrior to move left, when I thought they'd move right.
Thank you, Flame.
Now I considered using a Gambit, but it felt like a waste to use one of my better Gambits just to survive the round.
It seems kind of wasteful to have to use it there if I don't need to, right? But I don't know if I necessarily need to.
Happy as a Valkyrie has some moves that can attack at 3 range, and Constance has the Caduceus staff, which gives her an extra magic range as well. I also got Sylvain, who uses curve shot 3 spots away to get a clean hit on the front mage. While my 2 magic girls hit the other 2 physical fighters. Bernie does her little dance, and bam! That takes care of one problem.
That one's down.
Tremble before me.
Gilbert smites Hilda West, puts her in range to kill the mage with a short axe.
Yeah, why not? Hilda kill, get her some experience as well as possible. Nice, I was actually able to make this work without using ashes of dust, which is kind of clutch.
Then Byleth wraps it all up, and we can claim the West Wing as our own.
Wow, I sold all those chest keys, huh?
Turn 5. I use the next turn to get my team situated, where I'm planning to go straight up north to conquer the whole left side of the map.
Hair here, my hair.
Turn 6. To get through the chokehold, I need to deal with this mage. Since there was a demonic beast behind them, I didn't want to just rush in. I placed Byleth in range of the mage and didn't equip the Sword of the Creator this time because I want to save as many uses as I can.
Yeah, I just don't want to waste the Sword of the Creator. I just need to lure them up.
Turn 7. Next turn we kill the mage, of course, then scope out the next room we're attacking.
Slow and steady, cause...
There's a mage with a long-range magic ballista that can attack from 3 to 12 spots away. A demonic beast with 2 shields, along with a few sages and savants surrounding him, making it hard to approach without sacrificing someone. What's the best way to attack here?
Alright, like any good story, we had to take a break. A little intermission, alright?
I considered using bolting from Constance, but it wouldn't be enough. I debated using the stride gambit to rush right on in, but I'd probably still lose someone in the process. After some debating, I decided to inch everyone up to get closer in range, which forced me to put a few fighters in the range of the ballista and Eddie's attacks. I took some big damage, yes, but everyone lived. Turn 8. Normally, you'd think the beast would be my top priority, but it's really the two magic users behind it. The beast is really acting as a shield for those two, since they can pretty much one round kill anyone in my army. Bow Knight Sylvain lets me shoot right over the beast and lets me aggro the sages.
What's the 66% chance to crit? What the heck? That's clutch. Every bit helps.
Until we meet again.
That's clutch. Bow Knight Sylvain is where it's at.
Need to pull my weight.
Yeah, you do, buddy.
Sylvain is proving himself to be one of my MVPs thus far. We retreat him back and heal him up. The issue with attacking the beast with happier constants now is the fact that the armor shield it has negates magic damage. So until I get a chance to break it, they can't do anything. I adjust some positioning and get ready for the next round.
I'm gonna try that to start. Oh, this is a little tricky. At least if she crits Hoda wouldn't die at full HP. And Gilbert was actually kind of useful for this. Take some hits.
Turn 9. Using, yes, Bow Knight Sylvain yet again. We shoot at the beast out of range, chip its shield, canto back to Bernie to dance for Sylvain. And we take another shot to break its shield. Now to attack. I trade the Caduceus staff between my two magic girls so they have a long enough range to take out the first shield. I use Yuri to swap constants out of range at Eddie's attack, and we do some healing to decide to wait another turn. The sage walked in front of the beast for some reason, so it lined up perfectly for Byleth to brave sword the sage to death and retreat back using the fetters of the
Here is something to believe in.
Here is something to believe in. Clutch.
All is going to plan.
Very good.
Very good indeed.
From the combined efforts of the magic girls and Sylvain. Oh, wait a second. And Sylvain, the second shield goes down. I debated using Atrocity with Dimitri to get a crit, but patience really is key here. I'm 10 turns in and feel like I haven't accomplished anything. Turn 11 is the first turn where I just said screw it. Decided to use the stride gamut that I had on Mercedes to rush in, which gives +5 movement to my elite fighters to handle business. Sylvain strikes first, then I gamble on Byleth hitting a crit. Nice. Debated putting Byleth in range to aggro the savants, but figured my best course of action was to stay right where I was, so I could use Dancer Bernie to give Byleth a second attack and launch at the Ballista Mage. But to get the kill with Byleth, I needed to hit two 81% chances with the Brave Sword.
I have to gamble I hit both shots of the Brave Sword.
Seems like pretty good odds, right? But I'm not taking any chances here. Instead, I finally used Dimitri.
Team me 99% over. I have to hit two 80s.
Using Yuri to swap places and then having to do trade over his March Ring, I have enough movement now with Stride for Dimitri to attack the Ballista Sage and get away safely.
Right.
Hate me if you must.
Now the final part of the
Back
strategy.
here now.
Impregnable Wall, which allows me to take 1 damage from enemies for 1 turn, protecting the 3 people I left out in range of the savants.
That was quite a strategy. If I didn't want to gamble on the Byleth Brave Sword, if I didn't necessarily have to though, right? Got to that part.
I didn't stride in per se, but this strategy allowed me to take over a lot of space as a result. Took a lot of brain power.
Great thinking. Wow, that was not easy at all. We're slowly taking control.
Now that the savants are dragged out, we can start chipping at them and take control of the Middle West Wing. And I'm actually starting to like my old ragtag squad that my childhood self left. Now at the next choke, there's a warrior with the Brave Axe that Byleth can't seem to sustain a hit from. But do you know who can take a hit?
Go for her, but since he goes first, I don't think so. Oh, clutch. This is no, it's not good. Oh, I was scared for the counter crit. I was scared for a counter crit. That's clutch though to do. You really clutched up there, my guy. Okay. Wow. Woo-wee! And Gilbert, we couldn't have done that without that rally defense and that 8, right? Having someone carrying around the shield still, so good work, good work.
We clean up the fighter, take control. Next goal is to take the last little room north, where the only issues is a sage and a mortal savant in the choke right before the throne room. At this point, everything's gone pretty smoothly. I've only used 2 gambits, no one's died, and I still have all 10 divine pulses. At this point, this feels like this is the run. I forgot that there's a meteor sage on this map, so I use Happy as well to keep safe while taking some more space. Turn 14. In retrospect, bringing the Gambit Retribution to have a unit countered in any range would have been a game changer, but I forgot. Didn't really remember there was going to be Meteor or Bolt Team Sages, but I have a good system. Using Sylvain and the Magic Girls to chip long range, the Dew to tank, Gilbert to help rally defense, Bernie dancing, and Dimitri and Bartlett slashing.
Because she has the freaking impregnable crap. I'm coming. Oh, that's some bullshit.
So this is my punishment.
And just like that, 1 divine pulse down. Good thing this is an old school Fire Emblem, but my goal here wasn't to complete an Iron Man run, it's just to finish this save. And that's exactly what I'm going to do. So with 9 divine pulses and a dream, we redo the turn. I keep a similar strategy but rearrange my placements and use Happy's impregnable wall on Dimitri. Eddie has tunnel vision, so she still opts to hit Dimitri, despite it doing 1 damage, while the Meteor Sage goes for Gilbert.
Second meteor down.
So the next few turns, not gonna lie, aren't that interesting. Pretty much just clearing up and taking over the left side.
On to the next battle.
Once the left side is conquered, I'm able to use the magic ballista with Constance and Happy to bait out any enemies in range. So I stay holed up on the left side of the map and chip down Eddie's army as they approach from the throne room and central staircase.
Saves me the trouble of going into the throne room and triggering the reinforcements, right?
But before rushing into Eddie, I decide to use my head and look up potential reinforcements. So, once I enter the throne room, a constant wave of reinforcements consisting of Dark Knights and War Masters will spawn out of the northeast and northwest stairs. There's also going to be 1 warrior coming from the central stairs too, every turn until I can clear out both the central room and throne room of enemies. The goal is to win. So although I want this to end, boy do I want this to end, I decide to play patient and opt to use my team to clear out the central staircase to give myself more opportunities.
Dimitri is avoiding very well, so his battalion is pretty strong, and Happy lost her battalion already. But as long as she's not dying, I'm satisfied, right?
As long as I don't step into the throne room, I don't have to worry about the reinforcements.
Nice. The dude has his uses, I would say.
So using the magic ballista and Constance Bolden, I hit and aggro the people from the central room. Plan is to take these guys down and enter through the middle, so I have time to deal with any potential reinforcements.
Okay, missed. Not a big deal though.
And to be honest, seems like I kinda underestimated the strength and positioning. So I ended up using my last stride gambit, thinking I can run up and wipe them out.
Might as well, right? I'm willing to use stride if I really want to save something like Ashes and Dust, right? I really do.
But I really couldn't do that safely, so I'm forced to use Hilda's Ashes and Dust, a gambit that I got on my previous Golden Deer run. Unfortunate, but safe. After some time, we wipe these guys out and break into the central room. I try to give all my army a little chance to shine, chance to enjoy some filler before the final fight.
Oh, Knight Sylvain is actually kind of holding it down. He gives me a recording. Whoops, I forgot to record that part. But essentially, I was just aggroing and clearing these guys out along the wall.
I still have 9 divine pulses, most of my gambits, my entire army, and I've gotten so much better at Fire Emblem since I last played. So once we clear up any enemy units that may dare stand in our way, we take our first steps into the throne room.
And I have no choice but to defeat her, even if it costs me my life. We must defend the present. After all, it is all that we truly have.
These fools are caught up in the sacrifices at hand and cannot see the future ramifications at stake. We must bury them.
But it seems like the one thing I forgot comes to haunt me yet again. Because sages pop up with
Oh,
bolting.
come on.
And both Sedith and Gilbert fall.
I have lived many years. Yet, there was still more I wished to do. It's time to retreat. I cannot afford to fall here.
Thank you both for your service. But we choose to press forward, gathering as much intel as possible. I refuse to use any divine pulses unless I absolutely have to. I split and circle my units around the top left, trying to take out the two sages here, while trying to avoid the bolting mages coming from the top right, but getting caught out of position leaves me with few options. To take down the last sage, I had to quickly use Hilda with the Brave Axe. But I mistakenly put her in harm's way, because the Northwest Dark Knight reinforcement was just close enough to take Hilda's life.
I'm dying for someone else. I can't believe this.
Thank you for your service. We quickly avenge her,
It is done.
and have Byleth occupy the northwest stairs to prevent that from happening again. The meteor sages continue to push from the east, and we have to bait out the damage before we can manage to push forward. We let Dedu and Dimitri take the bulk of the buildings until the sages get just a little too close. We can finally counter and get everyone to safety.
Okay, so I have an idea of how to get through that madness.
I leave Yuri on the northwest stairs so no more Dark Knight reinforcements can appear. And I gather up the members of the rest of my army that I have left and head into the throne room. There are still War Masters spawning in from the east stairs, but I have a main force that will be attacking Eddie, and a smaller middle force will clean up any other enemies that pop up and try to get in our way. I organize and get an idea of how much damage my team can even do.
So it looks like the Duke can do a little something. These guys that are going to be constantly coming in are going to be kind of an issue. I can maybe manage these guys here. There's only going to be so many that pop up at a time, right? Oh man, it sucks that I lost Hilda because she has ashes and dust.
Even my strongest fighter, Byleth, can only hit for about 15 damage with Edelgard's shield on. Most of my units would die on the counterattack if they charge in.
I could throw Happy away.
I only have 3 units, an elite force that can actually fight her. Byleth, Dedu, and Dimitri.
To be changed beyond all recognition. That is what lies at the end of the ideals you served so diligently. I have no pity for one such as you. If that is the future you hoped for, then you deserve no compassion.
Get him, Dimitri. Get her, Dimitri.
This battle is over!
Let's go! That's clutch.
Oh!
Don't get too hyped. Don't get too hyped. We just got started. We're just getting started.
Using these 3, I'm able to take down the first of 3 shields. I leave everyone else near the staircase. Edelgard is able to counter back hard, but she can't hit Byleth or Dimitri twice, so they can live through most fights. Dedu, on the other hand, gets hit twice, but is able to live through a round.
Okay.
A critical hit, though, spells the end of any of them.
Alright.
Luckily, my ground force is having an easier time dispatching any War Masters that try to interfere. Sylvain and the Magic Girls are tasked with taking down the reinforcement War Master that approaches every turn, letting my elite force focus on Edel. Using Dimitri's Gambit, not only do we draw Eddie's attention as she charges her Wicked Flower attack, but we break her shield, and that lets Dedu and Byleth clear up her second shield.
Okay.
Dimitri evades, and launches another wave of attack.
It's our chance to Sylvain.
Now, the dude needs to do some more damage,
Come on.
but he misses both of his shots. I try to gamble a crit with Byleth, but no luck there. I use Bernie's dance to give Byleth another chance, but it misses again.
Crit, man.
My only thought right now is destroying Edelgard. Unfortunately, the dude goes down.
Your Highness, somehow.
Edelgard charged up another wicked
Area
flower,
effect?
and it takes down Happy and Bernie as well. After losing key members of my army, I decide to Divine Pulse back to the start of the fight. But now I know what I need to do. Are you kidding me, bro?
So this.
I can't get a crit with 43%, but she can get a crit with a 6% chance.
on,
Unlucky.
bro.
A 6% chance crit. Killed Byleth right off the bat. But third time's the charm, as they say. And we will win. Leading with the dude we strike first. Followed by Byleth, then Dimitri. Luckily, no one's hurt in the counterattacks, but Eddie has 8 HP left on her first shield, so we use Happy to break it. Eddie attacks Dimitri and Dedu, who both retaliate. Byleth leads the charge with a fierce wave attack that gets Eddie's attention. Now understanding the range of her Wicked Flower attack, we can position in a way where nobody else gets hurt. Sylvain helps clear out all the riffraff,
We meet again.
Clutch, Sylvain. Very helpful.
and the dude shows us again why he's the clutchest on the team.
Great work to do.
Great work to do! Great work to do! One shield left. Dimitri soon follows suit. He uses Atrocity and his minor crest kicks in, doubling his damage. But if I don't heal Dimitri here,
Don't be careless.
he'll die. I move Constance up into Eddie's range to heal. It's all or nothing at this point. Edelgard unleashes Wicked Flower and hits only Byleth. But I forgot this stuns him. Happy and Sylvain are just strong enough to just clean up the impending War Master.
Same old.
Eager for the kill, Dimitri uses a gambit to draw attention.
Destroy you now.
Then the dude goes for the desperate attack and does some damage, but it's also hurt in the process. Mercedes uses Recover to clear Byleth of a stun, and Bernie dances, so her and Constance can both heal him up. Then we rush back into the fray.
No hesitation.
Oh, so possible. It's so winnable.
No shields left.
So winnable.
Eddie goes for Dimitri, and we counter. But then she also goes for...
Miss.
But it cannot end here. I'm still so far from accomplishing my grand achievement.
I think that's the character I paired up my Byleth with too. Oh, I think that was waifu. I think that was my waifu.
I knew I was playing risky,
That kind of
but I'm
hurts.
so close. Instead of backing down, I'm determined to end it now.
I'm going in. I'm going for the kill here. I'm going for the kill. Let's do it.
Sylvain attacks. No one ends up getting hurt,
Is that it? Obvious.
but I lack enough damage to win outright. As a result, I'm forced to use Happy to do some chip damage.
This has been a long time coming, but I'm not ready. I'm not ready.
Oh, it hurts. Because if my waifu dies, then so is Dimitri's waifu, right? Because I remember I was pairing up with the DLC characters.
That did not make me feel any better, but we needed some damage. Byleth goes for it and
Allow me to demonstrate.
Happy might not need to die.
nope. This scene hits hard now,
Especially knowing I had to lose so many people to get to this point. Oh. I kind of feel a little bad about Happy now.
The final mission wasn't just about finishing a game. It was a battle against my own doubts. I had abandoned this save, abandoned them, thinking I couldn't overcome the impossible. But every loss, every mistake, brought me closer to this moment. The Blue Lions fought with me, and now, standing on the brink of victory, I realize it wasn't all for glory. It was about proving to myself that no matter how many times I fell, I could rise again.
I never thought I'd see the day with you, my friend. I never thought we'd come to this day.
And hey, if you liked this video, please like or subscribe. As a small channel, it really does help me out. And to all of those who fell in the line of duty, I thank you for your service. And to all of those that helped make this dream a reality, I'm sure I'll see you all again one day.
You didn't get married, which is a shame, but life goes on, right? Yeah! It's over. That nightmare is over.